back to where we were. I still have the micro Uzi, right? Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. All right, let's try this again. Let's try this again. So again, fire as soon as you can. Run towards him. This is the poison attack I mentioned. You can actually see where it's going to land based on the black shadows on the ground. It helps a lot if you run as far away as possible. That usually gives you the best positioning to be able to dodge all the poison attacks. If you get poisoned, like I said earlier, immediately use your Cure P, which you obtained in the fight before this one against the mole. And then, on your second attack, haste and gun him down. After the third or fourth haste attack, depending on your damage rolls, it should pop him into his changing mode. Oh, so sometimes he does get poison off twice. Again, like I said, wow. Okay, so now you go and you energy shot the other body piece. So not the head, which is going to look like this, not the tail, which is going to look like this. The piece that has no horns and no little tail piece right here. Now, most of the time they're not going to die in one turn like that. Sometimes they do. When that happens, it's amazing. But like I said, the shots, when you do that split, now you don't have to do it as slow and as monotonous as I just did. I was just kind of helping to explain it a little better. Just make sure you do it. It's very, very crucial. It turns the tides of this fight exponentially. Once your Parasite energy is full, energy shot the other body piece. Now the body pieces have lower health than these pieces, which means that you'll one-shot it with energy shot. Make sure that if the other piece is still alive, you're energy shotting the one that hasn't been damaged yet, naturally. So all of a sudden, energy shot this, and we're down to 2 targets instead of 4, which is huge because of the random targeting on the gun and how easy it is to dictate the control of this fight. Now, basically, just sit in the middle. Try to stay as close to each target as possible. Sometimes they make it difficult. And you should, especially if you have a revive, you shouldn't die. Stand here in the middle, continue to pop shots. If you do die, you got the revive. This is probably the hardest fight left in the game. If you're worried about dying, you can actually run way up here. And then only piece that can attack you is the piece that's going to be right here. So watch. You'll see right now he's going to try to attack me. Can't reach me. So if you're really, really scared, after you fire an attack, you can literally just run up there, and you're good to go. So that was about as flawless a Centipede as you can ask if I was actually like focusing on doing a good run. And I did it seriously and quickly. That fight was incredible. They're not always going to go like that. If you're worried about your health total, if you fall below 100 health, right around 80 is when your vest will pop. If you are scared, if you don't have a revive, don't be afraid to waste a turn to drop a heal 3 on yourself, or a heal 2 or whatever your strongest heal is. Just make it through this fight. Speed is secondary. Surviving is more important. However, if you do happen to use your last revive, there's not very many fights left in the game. Maybe Triceratops, where you'll end up where it's nice to have. Otherwise, most of the fights are pretty easy from this point forward. So accept everything. Make sure that you don't have too full of an inventory. Immediately hit triangle as soon as you accept all that stuff. Go to your gun. Now this is where it's going to vary whether or not you have the micro Uzi or the M10. If you have the M10, you're going to come to the M79. You're going to choose the M10. The M79 bonus stats are going to go on the M10. However, if you have the micro Uzi, which is what I have, you're going to go down to this frost bullets right here. And you're going to put frost bullets on the micro Uzi. Now the reason that it's different from gun to gun is that the M10 only has 2, you see these slots right here? These are modification slots. The M10 will have these 2 filled, and it will have no more slots. So you won't be able to fit quick draw on there, and you won't be able to fit ice bullets. So the M10 doesn't have the chance to attack first every time, or the ice bullets, which do extra damage to some of the enemies we're going to encounter here in a little bit. So you can see how this is the superior gun. However, it's totally fine if you get the M10, continue your run. When you get to this screen, move bonus stats instead of ice bullets. You can't move by ice bullets anyways, it wouldn't let you. So just move the bonus stats, make sure you do it. Go to BP. Now from this moment forward, after Centipede is dead, you will no longer be putting your BP in active time. You should have 31 or 32 active time at this point. It's depending on how fights went, the amount of bonus points you've acquired, the amount of fights you've had, you'll have 32 if you've had a lot, 31 if you haven't had very many. But regardless of what it is, come down to Micro Uzi and put all your bonus points into attack. And you're going to do that every single time you have bonus points from this moment forward. You will no longer, after Centipede, be putting them into active. As always, make it a habit to sort your inventory. Now here, you're going to want to use medicine to cure yourself. Use as much as you want. I'm going to use all of it till I'm full health. The reason being is you're about to go to the museum, which is full of really strong medicines, medicine 3s and 4s. You can get rid of the Cure P now. You shouldn't be needing it again. If you have Cure Ds, you need 1. So if you have any extras, get rid of them. And then go ahead and progress up. So just run upwards. I just remember I'm gonna have to like highlight 2 different videos now. Whatever. Come over here to this guy, click on him, continue to mash. The screen's gonna pan out. It's going to pan right back down. As soon as you input this command right here and it pans back down, start holding left. Now, one of the funkiest CD changes in all of video games. Not really any point as to why. If you're on emulator, you have to hit eject CD before you can insert the second disc. If you're on PS2 or PS1, obviously you just put the disc in. If you're on PSP, you would open up the menu with the PlayStation button. But yeah, put disc 2 in, immediately start holding down, and you're going to basically backtrack. Disc change is scary. Yeah, any of my regulars know that I had some really good runs where the disc wouldn't change on my PlayStation. I had to go buy a new PlayStation. So here, you can actually get this encounter again against the mole. It's good EXP, and he dies really quick, so it's not the end of the world if you do. Ideally, you still don't want it. So right here, immediately run to this yellow line. Now, when you hop up on top of it, just hold directly down. Do not get off the yellow line. And that way, it allows you to load into this screen, which is the screen we skipped earlier. Hold down, right, to pass by this chest, and then go up these stairs up here. Now, you're going to want to go left 5 times to the museum. I believe it's 5 times. Let me do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Go to the museum. There's no text or anything, so immediately start heading towards the door. Up and left, left, up and left, up. And run all the way up to the door. She'll open it on her own. No need to interact. Immediately hold up. Clamp will be he'll be creeping a sneak peek over there. Cool, ignore him, not a big deal. Progress up this route right here. Continue to hold up. The reason I healed with medicine and not with my remaining Parasite energy is because of Scorpion, which will have, it helps if you have quick draw, especially, to have Parasite energy for haste. Immediately run into the screen right here. You're going to have some text to mash. She's going to say something like, wow, somebody really doesn't want me here. Yeah, obviously. This is what it took. It was the Scorpion. As soon as it pans back to Aya, be holding left. Start this fight off. Immediately start mashing triangle if you have Micro Uzi and quick draw. You want to get haste off as quickly as possible. If you have the M10, just start the fight. Now, the Scorpion will always counterattack in front of him, so stay to the side of him. Try not to ever be in front of the Scorpion. It's real bad news. Because the dude does work. And there you go. That fight is real quick and painless. Make sure you cast haste if you have a quick draw on the Micro Uzi. If you have the M10, I don't know if haste is worth it. I would just start gunning him down. If you really, really want to, and you have trouble dodging the attacks, haste does increase your movement speed, so it helps you to run away. So if you're worried, if you're low on medicine, you don't have a revive or something like that, and you have the M10, feel free to wait for your ATB to charge, then use haste, and that does help you dodge his attacks. It makes the fight a little bit safer. It's not necessary, though. Immediately start moving down to start this fight. Now this is where, oh my god, why can't this ever happen in a real run? pisses me off. Okay, so one thing to notice about the museum. It's the first and only place in the whole entire Parasite Eve game where you're guaranteed to get a fight. So in this room, I'm going to get a fight every single time I come in here for the first time. This is only, we don't come back to this screen, but regardless, I'm guaranteed a fight, just like I'm guaranteed a fight on other screens that we fought throughout the game. But in the museum, the actual creatures that make up the encounter can vary. Now, if you have ice bullets, you're going to want to see these guys, raptors, and you're going to want to see armadillos. In any fight that they have the possibility of spawning, you want to see them more often because ice bullets does increase damage to both of these. This fight right here can either be 2 raptors, which is best case scenario if you have ice bullets, or 1 raptor, 2 green lizards, which is more common. But if you don't have ice bullets, it doesn't matter. They're about the same speed. This is still probably the better fight, even without ice bullets, but with ice bullets especially. So you just come here, you just, oh man, I forgot I have quick draw. You just unload on these bad boys. You're going to do almost 100 damage, a crit, which is, again, stay in the middle of these guys. You just eliminate these dudes. As opposed to the 5 turns it takes to kill 1, it only takes 3 now with ice bullets. It's huge. You got 1 text prompt right here before you can move, so don't get stuck on that. Come up here. Obviously run in straight lines, as few movement inputs as possible. Continue to run up. This fight is, I think is fixed. I don't think I've ever seen variation. I think it's always 3 lizards. Anyways, these guys are hella annoying. Ice bullets doesn't actually do any increased damage to them. These guys will stun. These guys are the new birds. We don't have bird enemies anymore. Instead, we have these assholes. And what they do is they stun lock you the same way birds do. They drop junk the same way birds do. So be mindful of it. Like right here, I don't even care that much to get medicine 2. I don't want junk. You want to limit your menuing in the museum as much as possible because the museum is a very long stretch, and if you menu too frequently, you'll lose a lot of time. So as soon as you see this load, fuck, I should have done that. As soon as you see this load here, immediately start holding left. So that way, as soon as you load that screen, you go back to the one you're just on, and you prompt this little cutscene thing right here. So she's gonna run into here, immediately start holding left. Armadillo spawn. Now armadillos are also weak to ice bullets, and also armadillos are okay. So first thing you need to know is armadillos are really easy. They're really easy to fight, but if you get lazy or if you get caught by one and all 3 of them stun lock you long enough to roll over you, they will just do work. They do a lot of damage, but they're very easy to dodge. I'll show you. So you just fire bullets at them, and once they start rolling, they're locked into whatever direction they're rolling. So right here, see that guy is gonna roll in a straight line. All of them are. They only roll in straight lines. So as soon as you see them start to roll, just stand out, move out of the way. It's that simple. Also, you can actually shoot them while they're in their rolling animation. It'll stun them for a short period of time, but then they'll finish their roll. So make sure that you're aware of that. So if you do fire a shot at them and it stuns them out of their rolling animation, don't think that, okay, I canceled it. Get out of the way, because they're going to still finish what their animation. This fight also, make sure that you have inventory space when you come into it. You should, because you should have used your potions to heal its centipede. This fight will either drop 3 medicine 4s, which are the strongest medicines in the game, or 2 medicine 4s and a full cure. Now, full cure sounds like, oh, it heals me all of my health. No, it doesn't. A full cure just gets rid of any status debuff, which is complete useless garbage. After the armadillo fight, heal 3, might as well. You want to conserve your medicine 4s as much as possible. They're usually the first things that gets used by your vest, because your vest likes to prioritize strong medicine as opposed to weak. Weak medicine is usually last. So that's kind of a way to know whether or not you're running low on medicine. If you take damage and you're like, wow, I only got healed for 90 right there, it's because your vest is popping medicine 2s instead of the 400 medicine 4s or whatever. Anyways, if you get the full cure, drop it immediately. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of inventory space. Continue down. You can get this encounter again. It's the first repeat museum encounter. You want to not get it because it's a sucky one. Go up these stairs here. Immediately move up and right. Up into the next screen. Immediately move, up and left, I'm sorry. Immediately move up and right here. Right. Up and right. Up. This door is actually quite fickle. Sometimes you hit it dead on and you don't go through it. Just run into it a bunch of times. I promise it's not locked. Come here. If you come at it at a certain angle, you don't have to hit. She'll automatically trigger it. I can go up or down. Just mash X. You want to go up. If you go down, you go to a crate that has like rockets in it, and it's completely worthless. Go through this door right here. Now this fight can either be one raptor or two raptors. If it's one raptor and we crit 3 times, we can kill him in 1 turn. Of course it's one fucking raptor. Oh, so we were close. Still, exceptionally fast. So literally half the time it would have taken, it took half the time it usually takes with 2 raptors. Let's continue down. You can get armadillos or you can get lizards here. We want to see, oh, I'm sorry, a single raptor or armadillos here. Single raptor is ideal for ice bullets. I wonder if you get ice bullets, does it force more? Because I just feel like every time I've gotten ice bullets, I've gotten the most amazing arrangements. It's weird. Continue down, just slaying everything in your path. Continue to just murder everything. So this fight, I don't remember what the variation is because I've seen it like once ever. It's almost always an armadillo and these 2 lizards. Be careful and mindful of the lizards. They will never kill you, but if you're trying to preserve some of your medicine, they'll pop your medicine hella fast. It's very hard to see their tongues, which is where their attack is. So don't feel bad if you get stun locked. Right here, if you picked up the junk, sort it out immediately. Get rid of it because the next few enemies are going to drop really, really strong medicines. So as soon as you run into the pterodactyl room, you want to make sure you have inventory space for medicine and only medicine for a good while. So make sure if you fight with the lizards to not mash through it like I just did. Anytime you see those little green bastards, be mindful of your menuing. So pterodactyls usually take 2 to 3 turns to kill with nothing but crits, 2 turns. Also, pterodactyls can blind you, which is the reason I told you that you need to keep at least 1 cure D. But that pterodactyl will always drop a medicine 4, and this chest up here will have a medicine 4 in it as well. So we are just stacked to the high heavens with really strong medicine. Move down to this wall. Once you hit the wall, move down. And the reason being is that she takes a shorter jog to the encounter ahead of her. So this fight can either be a single pterodactyl, or it can be a raptor and 3 lizards. So this is one of those huge, huge time-saving situations where you want to see just the single pterodactyl. Because 3 turns as opposed to 10 is very advantageous. Oftentimes you're going to see that pterodactyl anyways. It's more rare to see the worst fight in that situation, which is nice. Here is a pterodactyl, or I can't remember what the other one is. Usually it's always pterodactyl though. Which is, anytime you can get pterodactyls or raptors, that's going to be your best bet. Pterodactyls do absolutely nothing for damage. Their attacks are super easy to dodge. Blindness is the only thing you really got to worry about. And they die quick. So here, you're going to move to this door. It's a pretty generous door. You can kind of hit it from any angle, and it'll allow you to activate it. Start mashing X. Start walking to this window. Go straight out the window. Ignore that chest. Make sure you don't pick it up. It's useless. Start running right after you mash. Right when she gets in between these 2 statues, start mashing again. She's going to jump. Tell her to jump. Give her some bad advice. She jumps. There you go. Not like the weight of the world is on her shoulders or anything like that. Not like she's the only one who can save the human race and she's just jumping from fucking platforms. Now in this room, immediately run down. I see a lot of people will run right towards the door. Look how long it takes for me to start this fight that way. If I just run down, it takes 1 input down to run that way, and then I'm right in front of the pterodactyl as soon as the fight starts. So you lose 5 seconds by running to the left, or to the right there. Okay, so right here, as soon as you get this fight, it's always going to be a pterodactyl, I believe. Immediately sort inventory. Immediately either unload or reload, whatever fastest. Use your weaker medicines till you're close to full health. Use your BP. Again, make sure it's going into attack at this point. And the reason we do that is because there's actually a scorpion on the other side of this wall. And we need all our parasite energy to be unused. We need all of our parasite energy for this fight. And you will always have 100% parasite energy. Immediately, well, you'll have close to it. If you have like 90%, wait for it to be full before you fire an attack. Immediately energy shot the raptor. It'll one-shot the raptor, and it'll make it a 1v1 with the scorpion. Wait, what the fuck? Someone clip that? Someone clip that for me if you don't mind. My only thing, I'm thinking that maybe I just was like maybe I was at 99 parasite energy instead of 100, and it just, I don't know what the hell happened. Anyways, that's literally never happened before. Don't ever expect it to happen. This fight will go a lot more smooth, and you should never have to worry about that. It will always die as long as your parasite energy is full. You'll energy shot that raptor for 300 damage every single time. 309 to 325 usually. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. That was weird, but that's fine. I'm sure that I just wasn't full parasite energy. That's got to be what it was. Anyways, the scorpion you want to 1v1 because really, I didn't know we got 2 BP after that. That's interesting. But yeah, the scorpion you just want to 1v1 because it's a lot easier. Make sure you don't get hit by the poison thing that he shoots out, that purple poison zigzag thing, because you can actually get hit by multiple instances of it, and it can like 100 to 0 you. Anyways, as soon as this fight's over, I suggest using these 2 BPs, because that's actually a lot of damage that you add right there. So as soon as that fight's over, menu, continue. I can't believe that. That's really weird. I can't wait to show Primus. So this fight can either be 2 green lizards or 3 green lizards. So in the fight right over here, again, don't pick up the junk. You actually don't really care that much. Fuck it, I'll pick it all up. Usually just ignore it. So right here, where I'm at, you actually can't see it, but there's a hidden chest over here with a tool in it. So make sure you get it. Make sure you move around and mash X up there until you do get it. Now this fight is trash. Because the armadillo likes to move around so much, and the pterodactyl, and the screen is very long. So just stand close to one of them, pray to God you shoot it, and then the armadillo paths towards you. So that was actually really clean. Most of the attacks went on the armadillo, or on the pterodactyl. You can actually bait the armadillo up here since this is where you need to be running. So that was actually a really good fight. If you are keeping the sound low so that people get to experience the joys of ice bullets themselves fully when they run the game. Oh yeah, exactly why. Ice bullets are kind of a meme because of the god-awful noise that they make. Actually, the sound is low because, you know, most of this is like tutorial purposes. And but just be thankful that that's a byproduct of it. So right here, don't heal, don't menu, don't do any of this. What was I going to say? Oh, so this screen, you see how long this is? The armadillo can be here or here. That's like 3 gun ranges away. That's a very, very large distance. Even though it doesn't look like it, it's huge. So if you need to slow down, hit X just to see your dome, your attack range dome. Feel free to do that. Try to obviously position yourself advantageously. Eventually you'll get used to the length of it. The best thing you can do is to try to bait the armadillo into coming at you in such a way that he ends up at the end of that roll next to the pterodactyl. So that's my advice for that. This next screen can either be a scorpion and a raptor, or a pterodactyl and 2 raptors. I'm sorry, a scorpion and a pterodactyl. So in this situation, you're going to attack the pterodactyl once, energy shot the pterodactyl, and now it's a 1v1 for you and the Scorpion. If it is the double raptor, god damn it. Oh, invincibility frames. If it is the double raptor fight in the pterodactyl, energy shot one of the raptors and one-shot it. You should be energy shotting something in this fight, because it's a huge room, just like the last one, and it's very, very difficult to maintain accuracy on both of them, or on all of the targets. Go ahead and run up here. Continue to hold up. Progress to this next area. Now this next little segment is tricky to learn. You're gonna mash real quick. She's gonna say something about the alarm. If you do need to save, you can do it right here. Otherwise, run all the way up here to this box, hit the box, deactivate. Now from this, as soon as she's done, start holding down and right. And it's gonna run you down this secret hallway, right? Keep holding down and right, then hold right. Go to floor 4. Hold up and left. So down and right to go down the hallway, and then up and left when you go return through it. Just hold that, and you'll eventually be fine. Make sure you can pick up both of those. If you need to sort out your inventory and clean some stuff out, you can. Those are not optional. You absolutely need those 100%. If you do not pick those up, you will not be able to finish the run. Second floor now. Now hold up and left, and continue to hold it even through the load. And that's the down right and up left. That's how you navigate this secret hallway. And then just whoop, shake yourself loose, hold down, continue to hold down until you prompt a cutscene. I'm gonna fast forward it. Really cool cutscene though. She brings the T-Rex to life and everything. It's pretty dope. This game actually has a lot of really cool cutscenes. Just in a speedrun setting, it's kind of annoying. So yeah, listen to Aya trip balls as if this is the craziest thing she's seen in the past 5 days. Now this next 3 screens, you can get repeat, or just 2. Yeah, so this one is the worst, because obviously, as I explained earlier, this is the worst screen to fight on in general. And there's more enemies if you get the repeat encounter. There's 3 instead of 2. So continue to progress. So we got one of them, that's not bad. 3 lizards is annoying, but they die quick. Again, make sure that you're dropping or you're not picking up junk from the lizards. Now, as soon as this fight is over, whether or not, if you get this fight, as soon as the fight's over, if you don't get this fight, as soon as you exit, 3 junk, pieces of shit. Okay, so as soon as you load on this screen, open up your inventory. Go to sort. Make sure that you have 2 spaces. 2 spaces. Absolutely necessary. You need to have 2 spaces. Drop anything you don't need. Cure peas. Cure whatever the hell's. Junks. If you're stacked to dex on medicine, use your weakest medicines to clear out inventory space. Just whatever you got to do to make sure you have 2 inventory space. Run over to this door right here. Start mashing X. And now you got a long-ass cutscene. But the reason that I make you clear your inventory right there is quite simple. In this cutscene, or in this little sequence here, they give you 2 items that are forced into your inventory. Now, if you're not careful, you'll accidentally switch it out for an item that you need to finish the run. Like I've accidentally given Maida a revive. I've actually accidentally given him all kinds of shit, right? Or you can't pick it up. You'll have to open up your inventory and try again. But if your inventory is full, you have to give him a consumable. You have to give them both consumables. So say goodbye to one of your potions or something. So it's just better to check so that you're not caught off guard. Otherwise, you can just mash through that until he explodes, and then you can start paying attention. But you'll as soon as you exit, down and left, you're gonna want to line yourself up with this right here, this set of diamonds. You're actually going to want to position yourself to where Aya's foot is like on the corner of these 2 diamonds. So basically not following this 100%, but kind of being in between it. And that will lead you right to the door trigger every single time. Perfectly to the door trigger. Now this room is the only room in the entire game that we actually go through 3 times. You can get an encounter here every time you pass through it. First time guaranteed, every time after is just good or bad luck. But it's almost always just one pterodactyl. By the time you come back through it a second time, you should be killing them in one turn. So it's not that big a deal. Or I'm sorry, in two turns, as opposed to the 3. And now you're guaranteed to get this fight the first time you go through this room. Now this fight is usually this, and the only variation is armadillo, raptor, pterodactyl, or pterodactyl, double armadillo. So either or, I think ideally you'd prefer to get the raptor, just because he's weaker. But still, this is a really good fight. If you need EXP, like later on I'll explain that, this is a really, really good fight to get, because it gives a ton of EXP and it's actually a really simple fight. Because right here, again, you're going to want to heal with medicine, not with Parasite energy. Use your weakest medicine first. Go to your BP. Now, after you get the shotgun, you're no longer, your micro Uzi for a while is going to be the second gun. And that's because it sorts based on strength of your weapon. Because when you get the shotgun, it's at 59 attack, it's going to take a little while for the micro Uzi to get there. Just make sure you're not putting the attack onto the shotgun on accident, because we actually don't use the bonus stats from the shotgun, so you're just wasting BP if you do that. Sort. If you are low on ammo, you can actually unload any gun that you have that isn't the gun you're using. But basically, reload, make sure you got space, make sure you're doing alright. Now right here, you're going to hold up and right, and you're going to slide across the wall. And by doing this, you skip this enemy trigger that's right in front of you. So that's nice. Now we get ready for Triceratops, one of my least favorite fights in the game. Do a save state real quick. Okay, so if you have quick draw in the micro Uzi, just start mashing triangle. Okay, cool. So I got quick draw. I started out with full ATB. If you don't start out with full ATB, or you have the M10, wait until you get full ATB. Make sure you're at max Parasite energy. Open up with energy shot. We want him out of this first phase as fast as possible. For this attack that you just saw, the best way to dodge it is to kind of stand not in front of his head, but to the left of it, and try to have the lightning curl around you. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage anyway, so if you get caught by it, don't freak out about it. The thing you want to watch out for is just unload a clip on him. So it should be energy shot, shoot one turn, and by the time your next ATB comes around, you'll have Parasite energy for haste. Immediately cast it. While he has this his skull on, he will do a charge attack that is insanely hard to dodge, even with haste, and it can do just stupid damage. It can like do 408 damage. I believe it's the max roll, 408. But it happens. It'll do 204, 204. So here is an example of what you need to do when he starts to charge. Pay attention to how much damage his charge does. If you don't dodge it, so right there it did 136. It's going to do the exact same amount of damage the second time. So let me explain that a little better. He charges once, so it does 50 damage. That means the second charge, he always charges at least twice. So he'll charge through you once, it'll do 50 damage. He'll charge through you twice, it'll do 50 damage. If he charges through you, it does 200 damage. You then have to realize, okay, wait a second. He charged once, 200 damage. When he charges again, 200 damage. Look at your health. Can you afford that? If not, before that second charge comes out, which is almost instantaneously, you need to immediately, instead of attacking, use either a potion or Parasite, whatever you need to do to stay alive. Drop a heal 3 on yourself, or drop a potion. Yeah, I meant Q&A as far as like Q&A as far as things like, you know, go questions about the game or whatever. How did you get so handsome? I think that's actually camera tricks. I have a large forehead, which is why I keep my hair long in the front. So just playing to your advantages. That's what it is. That's my answer. Anyways, as I was saying, If you see that he did 200 or a really large amount of damage with his first charge, and you don't have the HP to survive another charge of that exact same damage, heal yourself immediately. That needs to be a priority. If you have a revive, just you can heal yourself. You can pop it. It's up to you. You probably won't need it again, but if you're unsure, just heal yourself. It's the main priority. Anyways, continue to gun him down. Once haste wears off, you can either cast haste again, which is what I'm going to do. That's what I would suggest. Don't wait for Parasite Energy. Cast haste again and keep gunning him down. See, we got him out of his skull mode very quickly. We only saw one charge because of how quick it went. And then and now he's actually weak to ice bullets without his skull. So you can see how much faster that fight went. Incredible fight, really, really good. Just make sure you're paying attention to the charge damage. That's all I can stress. I've lost 2 incredibly, incredibly good runs because he 100 to 0'd me for the most. I was at like 380 health and he one-shotted me with a set of charges. So here, don't heal. Go to your BP, put it onto Micro Uzi again, like I said. Go to sort, reload your gun to full or unload it, whatever's faster, and continue. You're going to get a free heal to full after this cutscene is over. So make sure you don't use any Parasite Energy or items to heal. Hold up as you mash. So hold circle, hold up, be mash and X. That's how I do it. It's up to you, whatever's more comfortable, but this works well for me. Open that, confirm with circle, open that, confirm with circle. And that way that you don't try to put shit back in the box, obviously. Run down here, get ready for the fight with T-Rex. Now T-Rex is actually way easier than Triceratops in my opinion. You're gonna just cast haste and just shoot him to death. If you manage to get enough Parasite Energy where you're ever full, fire energy shot as soon as you are. Just dump as much damage into him as possible. Dodging his attacks is actually really, really simple. There's only one that you even really need to worry about, and it's his fire breath. And that attack you can actually bait. So you can actually dictate what direction it goes in based on where you're standing. If you stand right under him like that, he's going to lunge and bite forward like you just saw him do. In the middle of that, you can actually just get out of the way and completely cancel that attack. So if you see that happen, that's good. Okay, so there's his fire. My advice for the fire, if you don't know which direction it's going to go, is to run to his back leg. One of his, either or, whichever side you're on, run to his back leg. You'll know you're close enough when you're hitting contact damage. And just stay on his back leg. He can't actually hit you from back there, and you're still within the range to hit him. So it's really, really safe spot to be. It's like I said, as soon as your Parasite Energy is full, fire energy shot as soon as possible. If you fire it too late, and say he only has 150 health left, you're obviously losing value. Anytime he jumps, he's going to use fire breath. So as you can see, stand back here by his foot. Oops, I wasn't close enough. And just punch him in the face. Shoot him. Cast haste. Keep haste up. Energy shot when you're full. Just gun him down, rinse and repeat. Don't be afraid of him. He's a giant bitch. This attack, just stand by his foot, and it'll never hit you. I don't understand what they did when they made this guy, but he is just the worst fucking boss fight. Again, he lunged forward. If you get out of the way before he finishes that lunge animation, he's going to miss. I don't understand it. Terribly, terribly designed boss. Really, really simple. Really, really easy. Okay, I screwed up right there. You should have space. You should have checked during Triceratops. When you finish Triceratops and you're doing that menuing, make sure you have at least one item slot. Because if you do not pick up the M8000, your run is over. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way it wouldn't be over. Nah, it's 100% over. If you do not pick up the M8000, you lose. It's that simple. So it's easy to spam haste, but look how, or spam X, but I was actually only 3 slots away from not picking it up and not being able to finish. I have save states everywhere, so we would have been able to finish, but you know, if you didn't save or if you're on great pace, you can lose a run to that hella easy. So just be mindful of that. Anyways, as soon as that fight is over, Micro Uzi to M8000. Now make absolutely sure the stats from the Micro Uzi are what get put on the M8000. Not any of the actual modifications, but the bonus stats themselves to the M8000. Then M500 to the M8000. Burst. Don't put the whatever rate of fire 2 or whatever. Make sure it's burst. You need bonus stats and burst. Then bonus points if you have any. I don't. Sort your inventory. Reload up or reload down, whatever's faster. Make sure you equip the weapon. Again, can't stress that enough. Make sure you equip the weapon. I've seen a lot of people not. I've seen a lot of people die or have to waste time because they don't. I've done it myself hundreds of times. As soon as you load, just move directly up, kind of wiggle to the left, and you should be able to hit that trigger. Go to floor 2, and now your gun is just a freaking monster. And the reason that we don't keep the Micro Uzi is because the next Eve fight we fight, she's actually resistant to ice, so our ice bullets actually hurt us. So the M8000, which is the exact same speed-wise, it might actually even be a little bit better than the Micro Uzi. We just use that now, which is also the same. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you have the M10, in that situation, you do the exact same thing. Like it's M10 bonus stats to the M8000, the M500 burst to the M8000, switch to the M8000. That's where the route comes back together. So the variation in gun no longer matters. You're going to do the exact same thing you just saw me do. Oh, another thing that's worth noting, and this is super important. If you're not level 33 by this point, you're gonna so if I'm level 32 and I'm less than 4,000 to my next level, that's perfect fight RNG. That means that the entire run is going to level me up in the perfect amount of encounters possible that I needed. So that's what you want to see. But if you're above 4,000, that means you're going to have to take one more extra encounter. So if I don't get the encounter in this room and I don't get the encounter in the next room, I'm going to have to force an extra encounter, lose a little bit of time. But if you aren't level 33 when you go into this last day 6, you're going to probably not only die, but you're going to lose a shit ton of time. So make sure that if you check your level. If you're not level 33, make sure that you're 4,000 or less, because there's one more forced fight we have to deal with, and it gives us 4,000 experience, give or take. Always a little bit more. So 4,000 or less is a good, solid number. If it's more than 4,000, you better pray that you either get this encounter, the next one, or you gotta check and know so that you can force the scorpion fight. So right here, I didn't get it. If I don't get the next one, I gotta force the scorpion encounter. So you absolutely have to check, because by the time that you get to Eve, it's too late. You can't turn back. Okay, I got this one, so I'll be all right. I don't have to force the scorpion. Now that we have this gun, try to line up all the targets the best you can, because the gun hits multiple targets. So as you can see, it's really helpful to, if you can, line them up just like that. You use fewer bullets, you kill fights faster. It's just all around really good. So right here, if I didn't get this encounter in this room, and I didn't get that one before, and I was anywhere from 4,500 to 8,000 or whatever, I would actually have to run up. If you've gotten so few encounters that you're like more than 6,000 away, you need to just run out back and forth into this room until you're less than 6,000, because that means you missed a lot of encounters. So that's kind of the nature of Parasite Eve. You can actually get so few encounters that it hurts you. You actually need a certain amount of bad luck, if that makes sense, in order to be the perfect level. So I ended up getting perfect fight RNG in this run, which is good. If I had a little bit more than 4,000 left, 4,000 to 6,000, I would just run directly forward right here and force a scorpion fight. That gives about 2,500. If you're more than 6,000, you absolutely just need to run back and forth between those two rooms I just ran through. Preferably this one. Just come exit here, run back in, exit here, run back in, until you have fought that fight in that room enough times to be less than 6,000 to your next level. But if you don't need to force the scorpion, just run up right like you did earlier. Run through the Triceratops room, and come on down. Get a veer right here. So you got a little cutscene. As soon as the cutscene's over, just run directly down. It's the fastest way to start the fight. And this is the fight, the last forced fight in the game that gives you experience points, at least. and it gives about 4,000. So just try to don't waste too much time. Try to line them up together. If you can't, you can't. It's not a big deal. Sometimes, especially like in this fight with the armadillo being a piece of shit, it's not always possible. They die in like 2 or 3 shots individually as well, so it's not a big deal. This fight will almost always drop 45 ammo. If it doesn't, it'll drop 30 ammo in a medicine. So if you are feeling like nervous, if you have more than 100 ammo, you're going to be fine for the rest of the run. You don't need to worry about ammo or anything like that. You actually only need like 65 technically. But right here before you go through this door, check your BP. If you have extra BP, and you should, dump it into attack. Your M8000 should end the game anywhere from 82 to 86 attack based on how the run has gone. Sort, reload your gun or unload it, whatever's fastest. Don't heal. You'll get a full heal. Run through this door. Once you run through this door, there's no turning back. You can't go anywhere else. You have to finish the game. So go ahead and I'm going to skip through all this. This is 10 minutes of mashing and cutscenes. Not 10 minutes of cutscenes, so you can't like go eat or anything like that. It's like 30 seconds of cutscenes, 20 seconds of mashing, 10 seconds of cutscenes, 30 seconds of mashing. So it's like, unfortunately, you have to sit here. If you have a wireless controller that works, I guess you can like go do whatever the fuck you want. But yeah, until then, you just gotta sit here and mash. But like I said, take the gun menus slow until you get really used to them. Make sure you're reading Primus's notes if you're learning the run. There's a lot of really, really great information, and all the menus are explained in extravagant detail. So you absolutely need to read that stuff if you are nervous about screwing up menuing. Because if you screw up a gun menu in this game, you're going to have to reset and try the run over. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of it, because we use our guns a very, very precise way. And if we can't get our guns appropriate, like, you're probably gonna die. Especially like there's some things you can't sacrifice. Burst, if you screw up burst, you're gonna lose. If you get rid of the micro Uzi or M10 or something like that on accident earlier on, you're gonna lose. If you don't pick up the M8000, you're gonna lose. Like, there's a few things you could squeak by, but you're probably gonna lose like 20 minutes in the total grand scheme of things. So I would just reset. But after you go through the door and you do all this cutscenes and all this nonsense, you're going to have a series of 5 boss fights. You're going to have this Eve right here. Make sure you, if you want to save here. I'm going to say no, because I have save states anyways. So, okay, as soon as this cutscene finishes loading, start holding up. You'll be at full health. If you used your BP and reloaded like I told you to, you shouldn't need to do it now. Excuse me. You're going to fight Eve. It's going to end day 5. Eve has multiple targets on her, which is why we absolutely have to have the burst functionality, because it guarantees that she's taking damage all over. And that speeds up this fight immensely. Immensely. It's nuts. I'm trying to think of what else. After this, if you're nervous about your medicine or ammo count, you'll have an opportunity to collect a little bit. You'll be given some ammo and some medicine. I'll show you how to do that if that's something you're worried about. But otherwise, yeah, there's no turning back after this point. So buckle in, get ready to rock. She talks for about, I think it's almost exactly 60 seconds. Anyways, to start this fight off, keep your distance from her to where she's baited into that attack. She'll either do that attack or she'll spin. Regardless of which one you see, just run right underneath her. She can't hit you with either one. But if you move too close to her to start the fight, she'll immediately grab you. You never want to get grabbed in this fight. It just slows you down, does a lot of damage, forces you to use medicine.